I'm visiting with Jake Miller of the Southwest Nebraska Cattlemen's Group. Jake, this is an older group that is sort of making a resurgence. Talk about the work that you've been doing and the meetings that you've had so far.
Yeah, so the Southwest Cattlemen, not a new group to the area per se, but under a different name now. It used to be called the T-Bone Club in the 90s. And what we're trying to get going now, getting farmers and ranchers together, trying to bring some new education, new thoughts to the area to push the paradigms and the thought processes of our local farmers and ranchers to see how we can work together to build each other up. We've had a couple meetings this fall already. We started in McCook with a meeting, just kind of a organizational meeting, and we listened to a vet talk about trace minerals and mineral deficiencies and stuff like that to bring awareness to what time of year ranchers should be using what. Then our second meeting was at Enders, Nebraska. That was the end of October, right before the EID mandate went into effect. For all breeding animals over the age of 18 months going across state lines. So we had a panel of speakers there. We had Preston Smith that owns Imperial Auction Market. We had Steve Pullman, a vet over at Juanita. And then we had Craig Yoon from the feedlot industry as well. So they talked to us about that. And then our last meeting we had was back in McCook, and we had Rick Funston from UNL to come talk about some fetal programming stuff and getting ready for calving, some of that stuff, and just overall helping producers to choose the right replacement heifers and what to do to develop them to make them be efficient yet have longevity in their cow herds. So that's kind of what we've done so far.
Very cool. Well, you've made a lot of leeway so far, but you have an exciting meeting coming up on January 9th. Tell us about that meeting and your featured speaker.
Yeah, so we are very excited to have a ranch profitability workshop coming up January 9th in McCook. Burke Tykert is coming to speak, a very well-known speaker. He grew up in Wyoming on a ranch there, and then he went to Brigham Young University after leaving home there, and he came back and helped on the ranch occasionally, but he was never an employee there or anything. He just helped the family when they needed some help, and he's done a lot of his own ranching since then from the ground up with nothing to start with, since he didn't go back to the family ranch. And then he also spent a lot of time working for the Deseret ranches, and now since he's retired from the day-to-day activities, he's doing a lot of speaking and consulting work. What his main focus is going to be is talking about grazing as well as overall profitability on the cow herd. And he likes to refer to his long levers to pull, is what he calls it. But those long levers are the things that affect profitability more than the short levers. So things like, how tight of a calving window you have, are your cattle adapted to your environment, grazing feed costs versus fed feed costs, things like that. Those will be some of the bigger levers that he talks about and what ranchers can do to better themselves.
Very cool. Well, as you look at the resurgence of the Southwest Nebraska Cattlemen, what sort of impact do you hope to have either from an educational standpoint or a community standpoint, for that matter?
So part of what we're doing is we are trying to keep a lot of the area FFA chapters involved in these meetings that we're having. So really trying to keep the youth in there, get an organization together for education, and hopefully once we have a good core group of members that return to the meetings, meeting after meeting, hopefully that will lead into some mentorship for some of the more advanced producers to help some younger producers getting into it. And then we'll see how things go down the road, but hopefully we can start feeding beef to the community then too at some different events or see how all of that plays out. But really the main thing right now is keeping youth in agriculture and trying to build one another up and be mentors to each other and see how we can benefit one producer to another. So.
Awesome. Well, if people are interested in getting involved, what is the best way for them to do that? And then remind folks when and where your January 9th meeting will be.
Yep. So the best way to do that is we are building a Southwest Nebraska Cattlemen Facebook page as we speak. So it should be up and going by Christmas time, so we can take messages there. My number is 308-350-0034. People can call me directly if they need to. And then we will be meeting January 9th at the Old Elks Club in McCook, or it is now going to be the MCC East Campus. We're going to be the first presentation in that building since they've remodeled it, so that'll be kind of exciting. And registration will start at 1:30. The speaker will go from 2 to about 4:30. And then after Burke is done speaking, we'll have time for some questions and answers. There's going to be some refreshments and snacks there and stuff. And as soon as Mid-Plains Community College, MPCC, gets everything up on their website, you will be able to go to their website and RSVP there directly. So that'll be where everybody can go to RSVP. Once we have that information from them, it will be up on our Southwest Nebraska Cattlemen Facebook page as well.
Once again, that's Jake Miller with the Southwest Nebraska Cattlemen. For more information about the organization, as well as a link to their Facebook group, visit our website, ruralradionetwork.com, and click on the Agriculture News tab. I'm Rebel Saklocha reporting.